6 people are believed to be dead this morning after the plane they were in went down off the coast of Point Loma on Sunday. The Coast Guard is leading the efforts to find and recover the victims and the plane's wreckage after finding debris and an oil sheen in the water.
CBS 8's Chris Groh is live at Sunset Cliffs. He has more on the latest that he's hearing from officials. Chris?
And according to that FAA preliminary report, it's likely that the plane was completely destroyed. And again, it states that it believes that all 6 people on board were killed. Now, we got our hands on the air traffic control audio between both the pilot and that air traffic controller, stating that they needed to gain altitude and quickly, shortly after taking off from San Diego International Airport, where we are just outside of, also just outside the Coast Guard, which has been involved in the search for those on board. We do want to warn you, we're going to play for you this audio, but some of you at home may find it disturbing.
Under 4 Bravo Alpha, there's an airport off of your east side, and about 3 miles is a crisscross runway. It's North Island. It's your closest airfield.
Mayday.
4 Bravo Alpha, if you see North Island, you're cleared to land. 4 Bravo Alpha, if you see the airport, you are cleared to land.
Now, in the back and forth between the pilot and the air traffic controller, you could hear the controller stating that that pilot needed to gain altitude and quickly. However, as you heard, that frantic moments after that request came in, the pilot saying that they were having trouble gaining that altitude, and then shortly after, the call of Mayday. Now, we are still waiting on word from the Coast Guard about their mission, but what we know so far about this plane is that it is registered to a business in Arizona. We do know that it was headed, that their route mapped was to Arizona. It took off from San Diego International Airport at 12:24 p.m. Sunday, that it was foggy, and this was a Cessna 414, but it's still, again, not definitive exactly why this crash took place. What we did is we spoke to Robert Katz, a commercial pilot and instructor with 43 years of experience, and he says that it's his opinion that the pilot may have become spatially disoriented due to the fog, needed to rely on instruments, but what can happen is that it can become extremely hard for these pilots to get the altitude when they become disoriented, and something like this can happen.
It is an acquired skill. It must be practiced to be maintained. And when I hear the exchange between pilot and air traffic control, and in particular, the tenor of this pilot's voice, his choice of words, and how he's communicating his situation, he is admitting to a problem, but at the same time, he's in denial about the seriousness of this problem, and he also sounds resigned to his fate.
Now, the Coast Guard and San Diego Fire Rescue lifeguards were able to find some debris and an oil slick. Again, it's believed that this crash site happened about 3 miles off of our coast. We were in that Point Loma, Sunset Cliffs area earlier today. We didn't see a whole lot of activity, but again, it is about 3 miles off of where we are. Here at the Coast Guard, we are expecting to get an update from them shortly. We'll be sure to update that part of the story as soon as we get that information.